We have here the practice sheet for rational expressions. Let's take a look at number 1. Take out the greatest common factor for number 1. 9 goes into the top, x cubed does, and so does y. And that would leave minus 3 in the top and x in the bottom. So our answer would be minus 3 over x. Now to get the restrictions, you need to go back to the original fraction. You notice x and y are in the bottom. We can't divide by 0, so x cannot equal 0, and y can't be equal to 0. That's number 1. Now since we need room for number 2, I'm going to do a little erasing here. Number 2. Well, to cancel the greatest common factors, we need to factor. So take out a 3 out of the top. And in the bottom, you get x minus 2x minus 4. So the x minus 2's are going to cancel, and you get 3 over x minus 4. For the restrictions, look back at that line before we canceled. We can't have x be 2 or 4. Number 3, and again we need some room, so I'm going to go ahead and erase. In the top, we've got some factoring to do. These two numbers multiply out to minus 4, and the two numbers that multiply out to minus 4 and add up to negative 3 are minus 4 and 1. So let's see, we would get 2x squared minus 4x plus 1x minus 2. And if you take 2x out of the first two terms, you'd have x minus 2. And take a 1 out of the last two terms, you'd have x minus 2. So the top then is going to factor x minus 2 times 2x plus 1. The bottom is x minus 2 times x minus 3. So you can see the x minus 2's cancel, and we end up with 2x plus 1 over x minus 3. And to get the restrictions, you have to look back here. X cannot equal 2 or 3. Now let's go down to number 4. Very nice of them. They already started it for us. The top and the bottoms of both fractions are already factored out. So let's see what we can cancel. 2x plus 1's cancel. The x minus 3's cancel. The 2x minus 1's cancel. And so we get x minus 3 over x plus 3. And for the restrictions, we have to look at all these. X cannot equal minus a half, 3, a half, or minus 3. Number 5. Well, here we go again. We have to multiply these two. We get 6. And the two numbers that multiply up to 6 and add up to 7 are 6 and 1. So let's see. We would have 2x squared plus 6x plus 1x plus 3. So if you take out 2x out of the first two terms, you would have 2x times x plus 3. Take a 1 out of the last two terms, you would have x plus 3. So the top will factor x plus 3 times 2x plus 1. That's the top of the first fraction. The bottom is x minus 4. Now the top of the second one is the difference of two squares. And the bottom of the second is just x plus 3 times x plus 5. So now we can cancel the x plus 3's, the x minus 4's, and that's all. So our final answer will be 2x plus 1 times x plus 4 over x plus 5. Now for the restrictions, we have to go back to these bottoms before we cancel. And you can see that we cannot have 4, negative 3, and negative 5. Number 6. Well, let's rewrite it like this. 4x squared y times 7 over 5y 12x to the fourth. We can simplify that a little bit. That's 28x squared y. Oops, we're running into other territory here. Let's erase some of this other stuff. (28x squared y) over 60 x to the fourth y. Well, the y's are going to cancel. And the x squared is going to reduce to x squared in the bottom. And let's see, 4 goes into the top 7 times and into the bottom 15 times. So here's how it reduces. And to get the restrictions, you got to look here. X cannot equal 0. Y cannot equal 0. In number 7, we're dividing. And remember, when you divide, you invert the second fraction, you turn it upside down, the reciprocal, and multiply, which they already started for us here. We can go ahead and do some canceling. The 8 and the 16 will give us a 2 here. The 3 and the 9 will give us a 3 there. The x cubed and the x to the fifth will give us an x squared there. And the y squared and the y cubed will give us a y there. So we'll have 6x squared over y. As for the restrictions, we need to look back at the beginning. And after we turn things upside down. Well, you notice y can't be 0 here, y can't be 0 there. So y can't be 0. And after we turn things upside down, we have x in the bottom, so x cannot equal 0 either. Number 8. Well, to give us more room, let's erase this stuff right here. We have to turn the second fraction upside down. So we're going to have x squared plus 2x minus 15 over x squared minus 16 times 3x minus 12 over x plus 1. Now we factor. The top of the first would be x plus 5, x minus 3. And the bottom, x minus 4 times x plus 4. The top of the second would be 3 times x minus 4. The bottom, x plus 1. So the x minus 4's cancel. And let's see, anything else? No, that's it. So we're going to have 3 times x plus 5 times x minus 3 all over x plus 4 times x plus 1. And we need to look at the bottom of the original fraction. The original fractions, we can't have x's plus or minus 4 there. It says 4 there. And then when we turned it over, we can't have x be negative 1. So x cannot equal plus or minus 4 or negative 1. Number 9. So get some more room here. Okay, we got to turn that. Oh, we need still some more room. Okay, we got to turn the second fraction upside down. So 4y plus 8 over 6y minus 24. And now we factor. 3 times y minus 4 over 2 times y plus 2. And the second fraction, 4 times y plus 2 over 6 times y minus 4. Well, you can see the y plus 2's are going to go, the y minus 4's are going to go. And we'll have 12 over 12, which is 1. This whole thing equals 1. But we have restrictions. We're going to have y cannot equal negative 2, and y cannot equal 4. Remember, you have to check the original bottoms, and after you flip it over.